Ms. Conley, parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Ruiz.
Yes.
It's over. You understand that?
Yes.
Good. You have a son together with the defendant?
That's correct.
Do you visit with your son?
She hasn't let me see him since she got the temporary restraining order.
Did you file a petition for visitation with your child?
Not yet. I'm in the process of doing
That's what you have to do, okay? You can't come and fetch that you don't have visitation unless you filed a petition for visitation. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, so let's deal with this case, and I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 of it because I've read it. 2 things. You were living together, you have a child together, you bought a dog together. And according to you, the dog was $600?
No, it was $500.
$500. And each of you was supposed to pay half. You put in $150. So you didn't finish paying for your half. Then you separated. So you want the money you put into the dog.
We had an agreement when we bought the dog.
I read the agreement, that in case you separated, you would get the dog.
Yeah, and she would lose her half.
Well, that may be, Mr. Ruiz. Let me explain something to you. You also agreed to pay for half the dog, which you didn't do. Right?
Yeah.
So there's no agreement. I mean, I read you said if you separate, you're going to get the dog. Well, but your first thing you were supposed to do was pay for half, which you didn't. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. So where's the dog now?
She took the dog.
Perfect. And how old is your son?
He is 15 months.
Does he play with the dog?
Yeah, he played with all the dogs we had.
Did he play with the dog?
Yes.
Get over it. Do you understand, Mr. Ruiz?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it, though.
Listen, there may be a lot more to it. For that, you'll see a therapist. This is a court.
Yeah. She needs to see one.
This is a court, Mr. Ruiz.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing you're suing her for is you say that she filed allegations that were false and got a restraining order against you.
Yeah.
But I read very carefully your complaint, and it seems as if that case was heard before a judge who granted her a final order of protection, right?
Yeah.
So that matter has been determined already.
They didn't allow for me to speak. She put down I killed 10 people.
Mr. Ruiz, a court is a court is a court. There are different standards of proof in every court, but in a civil proceeding, the quantum of proof in a civil proceeding is either this much evidence or this much evidence that something happened. In a criminal proceeding, it's this much evidence. You already had a hearing in a civil court with regard to your protective order, and a judge already made a determination by the same quality of evidence that I have to rule on that you were guilty of whatever acts she alleged and granted her a restraining order. So you cannot sue her for filing false charges against you, because that would mean that you get to try the case twice. We don't give people twice in this country in a civil case. Do you understand?
Yeah, I am.
Trying to explain the whole thing to you.
I got it.
Why I'm dismissing your case, because you have no case. Now, the only thing that you have is you have, to me, a legitimate desire to see your child, and you should do that, and you should do that as expeditiously as possible. And that I'm going to discuss with Ms. Conley, who has a counterclaim.
Yes, I do.
She has a counterclaim that you have certain property that belong to her. Return the value of a crib, Christmas decorations, and family photos. Plus, she says you hung the dog out the window and threatened to, and that's dog abuse. Did you raise that issue before the other judge?
No, I didn't. No, I did tell him that. I did mention that in court.
Well, fine, good, perfect. Then I don't want to hear about it.
Okay.
You've already discussed that with another judge. I don't hear cases twice. That's it. That part of it is over. Do you get it?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Now, this crib that you want back, who bought it?
He purchased it, and I purchased the matching changing table. I was able to take the changing table out of there, but he refused to give me the crib because
He doesn't have to.
Okay.
He purchased it. And hopefully he'll have visitation. He'll be able to use it.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to give you back the crib.
Okay.
Christmas decorations, who purchased them?
I did, Your Honor.
Good. When?
I purchased them over the last few years. I recently, because we've had my son, I went out and bought all new plastic bulbs because we had a majority of glass bulbs. And also my son's first Christmas stocking, his first Christmas bulb from when he was first born. He was born in October.
And who bought that?
A friend actually gave it to me for a Christmas present for my son. It's his first.
Gave it to whom?
Gave it to me and bought it for my son as his first bulb.
You know anything about what she's talking about?
When she was supposed to come get her property, when you get a restraining order, you have a certain amount of time to get your property. She kept stringing me along. She had the 10-day restraining order. She wanted to see me. She kept groveling back.
Just a second. Do you have this property in your house?
I don't take the stuff off the tree. She took the stuff off the tree. When she came to get her stuff, it should be downstairs. When I called the police to get her things out.
Mr. Ruiz,
I told her to take them. She didn't take them.
This is all I want you to do, sir. The crib you keep, you purchased it. I want you to go downstairs and see if you find these Christmas decorations that she wants. Put them in a box, and I want you to be smart. Listen to me. I'm older than you are. I've had more experience with this stuff. Take all the Christmas decorations, put them in a nice box. Family photos, those belong to the two of you, not just you.
Absolutely.
So if you can divide them so that she gets some pictures of the baby when he was little and you get some pictures of the baby when he was little, if you can do that, fine. Any pictures of her family, give her. You're going to have to be together in some way for the next this growing up. Don't do anything with regard to this property that is going to make her any more bitter than she is, or you any more bitter than you are. So let's start with this little bundle of property. So I'm going to prepare an order that you will examine your basement and return to her, if it's there, the Christmas decorations and her family photos. Her family photos. What?
I'm sorry. He actually has a majority of the photos on his computer already, burnt into the computer, and that's from when my son was first born, just fresh coming out of me on the table, my baby shower, that he has all those downloaded in his computer, as well as photos in his cameras.
Okay, do this, Mr. Ruiz. Is that true?
She's printed out over half of them already. I don't know what she's talking about.
Just a second. Do this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a start at rebuilding some sort of civility between the two of you so that when you get your visitation with your son, which you should have...
Oh, I will get him.
You'll be able to go over it, pick him up, make an exchange that's pleasant, maybe